Come on. Yo, this that spooky shit, that real, that's right. That GMSONIC shit. Hey yo, Mr. Clean. Shout out to Dracula Presley. Corby. Johnny Slash on the beat. Hey yo. Yo, it's the GMSONIC show. Phantom opera flow, permissionless, immutable, unstoppable, spectacular. Gather with Corville and Dracula. Abracadabra, flip shit like a spatula. Few Andre Stan, the master of memes. DeFi king, half man, half virtual machine. No other team can match the collective expertise. No other chain can achieve the supersonic speeds. Home with the most creative tech. What's your favorite decks? Spooky swap, equalizer baits over necks. And when I place my bet, I never break a sweat. Worship the open source code like sacred text. Rest assured, battle tested and ready for war. I check the bribes, cast the vote and collect the rewards. Knock at the door, trick or treat. Move like a zombie, but usually I stay cooler than Fonzie. I get surgical with this, call me Dr. Doom. Break the sound barrier, hit you with a sonic boom. We got it wrapped like a mummy in a tomb. It's about time we address the elephant in the room. It's called Sonic. Yo, what's the new hot topic? GMSONIC. Straight up alpha, you can get it if you watch it. GMSONIC. Yo, what's the new hot topic? GMSONIC. Straight up alpha, you can get it if you watch it. Yo, since the Genesis block, consensus didn't stop. Innovating since day one and never missed the plot. I'm just a humble yield farmer, tending these crops like a routine. See you at the next epoch. Ayo, the DeFi Renaissance, yeah, we were part of that. Your favorite dap, Phantom is where it started at. Go to Paint Swap and cop an ancient artifact. Let's run it back so we can 20x the market cap. FTM's the pre-sale, S is the ticker. It's best to zoom out so you can see the bigger picture. Brand new tech, brand new insignia. No trivia, we stacking more chips than Nvidia. Graduated from Halloween to a sonic theme. The dead chain resurrected, make you wanna scream. Due diligence, follow the new primitives. Controlled by the citizens, built to move billions. Your mass adoption, that's the only option. We ain't stopping till we locked in the top 10. Who got the best community? Who got the most promise? Who got the most pumponomics? Phantom and now Sonic. Yo, what's the new hot topic? GMSONIC. Straight up alpha, you can get it if you watch it. GMSONIC. Yo, what's the new hot topic? GMSONIC. Straight up alpha, you can get it if you watch it.
Do I have your attention now? Do I have it? Good. I thought so.
Today's gonna be the gonna throw back you. By now you should somehow realize what I gotta do. I believe everybody feels the way I do about you now.
Back these hours on the street as a fire in your heart is out. I'm sure you had it all before, but never really had a doubt. I don't believe what anybody He feels a weird about you now.
Who is your competition?
We have no serious competition.
None.
Not presently.
Who's chasing you?
Well, if you mean chasing and has a serious chance of catching, then I think none that I'm aware of.
Come on! What's his name? I can't hear you. What's his name? Hosanna! Forever! We love you! Hosanna! We praise you! Hosanna! You're worthy! Hosanna! You're worthy! Hosanna! We love you! We love you!
Hey, hey.
Hey there, Drac. Hey there, GMSONIC community. How y'all doing today?
Man, just gearing up for the second half of the week here. It's only Tuesday, but I feel like we're going into war, you know, we're preparing for what I think will be good news, but you know.
Yeah, Ethereum is looking was looking quite sexy on Sunday, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
Pump's huge, but that's usually a red flag, a pump on Sunday, right?
well, it's definitely, here's the thing, and we've talked about it on the show many times, and I've talked about it in the chat a bunch, is like, you know, usually like clockwork, like 4 or 5 days before FOMC, everything dumps and everybody says the bull run's over, everything's over, we're done, you know, and basically it's like it's almost confusing. It almost makes me nervous that we pumped over the weekend, which is already kind of weird. But you know, yeah, we pumped on Sunday, things started moving again. Today everything's pulling back a little bit. Nothing major though. Usually we see a much harder, like I said, market dump or something like those 4 or 5 days leading up to FOMC. I guess that tells me that people are pretty confident that a rate cut is happening. I think now it's more of a question of, is it 25 BPS or 50? 98%, I guess it was Polymarket, the 98% chance of 25, but wouldn't it just be nice for the market if they went ahead and just did a 50?
Yeah, I was actually reading a little bit about this last night, specifically the rate cuts. There was one person on the Fed board that wanted a 50% rate cut or a 50-point rate cut. It was with a Trump appointee, and so pretty exciting for them. I don't know if it's really going to happen. It seems like most of the Fed is kind of committed to this 25-point step down. But the thing that's really exciting is the new person coming up. Yeah.
So I like this comment from Spence because they're talking about QT ending, and we're going to get back to that. But we do have a guest who has a heart out. So we want to go ahead and chat about this. Then we'll get back to the FOMC and everything else going on. But very cool project. Build on Bitcoin, BOB. I was on a Spaces with them last week, and they're doing really interesting stuff for Bitcoin and DeFi. So I wanted to go ahead and bring Nikki up here to the stage. Good morning, Nikki.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
We got you, Nikki.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello there. Thank you so much for having me on the space. Last week I had a great conversation with Dracula on our space, and I'm very excited to be invited to your space. What a cool song, by the way. I loved this intro.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. Clean. You know, it used to just be a beat that we had, and we used to just play the instrumental, and he was just like, hey man, can you send me the file for that? And he came up with that, which was crazy. But Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna have to update it soon. I think because it's still talking about a lot of Phantom stuff. So I've been meaning to get with him on that. But yeah, iconic stuff.
Yeah, we need a Sonic rap next about Knuckles and all of them.
But yeah, I mean, just excited to have you on. I was just wondering, for those that are not initiated, if you just kind of wanted to explain like what Build on Bitcoin is doing, and you know, what you guys are hoping to achieve and all that good stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I'm going to give a very quick introduction on our team, what we build, and what are we bringing to the Sonic ecosystem. So BOB stands for Build on Bitcoin. Our team has been around the space for many, many years, and we have always been dedicated to the mission of bringing Bitcoin everywhere, bringing Bitcoin to ecosystem outside of Bitcoin, making Bitcoin more accessible for everyday users, making Bitcoin development easier for builders across different ecosystem. So last year, around May, we launched our own chain, also named Bob. It's a chain built on OP Stack, so EVM compatible. And it's currently, actually, recently we became the largest by TVL in the category of BTC L2. However, as we built this chain, we noticed a big problem that we do need to solve, not just for ourselves, but for builders across different ecosystem, which is how can we make a more seamless connection from both user and developer standpoints for introducing BTC liquidity into these variety of ecosystems. So one of the product that we have been shipping recently is called Bob Gateway. And Bob Gateway is a toolkit for BTC interoperability. For probably a lot of you are already familiar with this. Bitcoin is the first and the oldest, the most secure blockchain. However, it doesn't have smart contract capabilities, which makes building on Bitcoin a very difficult I guess, task for many DeFi builders. There's plenty of things that you can do to earn yield with your crypto assets. There's very advanced strategies, DeFi protocols for like on all of these chains like Sonic, like Bob, like Ethereum. However, in order to perform the same kind of financial action, you rarely have any opportunities on BTC, the L1 itself. And for user, if I want to earn some yield on my Bitcoin, the traditional way is to swap it into WBTC. However, or other kind of Bitcoin wrappers. However, the cheapest and fastest way has always been going through centralized method, like centralized exchanges. If I want to like earn some yield on my WBTC in, let's say, a pool on Sonic ecosystem, you will probably have to either spend a lot of transaction fee on a protocol, or you go to a centralized exchange for performing that swap. Bob Gateway is an intent-based protocol, which is a more, I guess, for people who's not familiar, it's a more advanced model that's very popular now for bridging across ecosystem. This means instead of sending your wallet to like a multi-sig who is a centralized entity that's performing all of these cross-chain safeguarding your assets, all that, you can have on board multiple solvers, you can invite a lot of parties into this ecosystem, and you can also express intent, which means, the action that you want to perform on destination chain in more creative ways. So the Bob Gateway, the first version that we released to the market to support multi-chain ecosystem, is powered by Layer 0. Layer 0, for people who's not familiar, is a general messaging protocol, and they support a asset standard called OFT standard. And what it means is when a certain asset is in an OFT standard, they can be easily burned and mint and interoperable with other ecosystems who have adopted the same standard. And WBTC.OFT. So WBTC is like, like the most adopted wrapped version of Bitcoin, also one of the oldest one, powered by BitGo, very trustworthy institutional custodian. And we have this bridge called Gateway, which is an intense bridge between native BTC and Bob. And then we marry this technology with the layer 0 technology. Then the wrapped Bitcoin, once it lands on Bob, it can easily, very fast, very cheaply going towards other ecosystems who have adopted the same standard. So now what is possible is user will be able to go one click from their native Bitcoin into WBTC on the Sonic ecosystem, reducing something that would traditionally take maybe 3 or 4 steps going to different websites, simplifying that into one click. So that's the very, very basic feature that has already been live. You can find the bridge to test it out on our app page. It's called app.gobob.xyz, and then you can find the gateway tab here. So if you want a very easy and cheap and fast way to get into Sonic ecosystem with your native Bitcoin, that's what you can do. And later on, I'm happy to expand it a little bit more into what this means for developers. But I'm gonna pause here for a little bit to see if there's any questions about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really what I love about the product is just that it's native. You can use your native Bitcoin, first of all, because I explained on the spaces exactly what you said, that traditionally, if you have native Bitcoin, you gotta go through like several steps to get your Bitcoin somewhere, and it takes a while. And I love that, first of all, that you can just plug your native Bitcoin in. But the second part I like is that you guys are working with wrapped Bitcoin, and we've had this conversation before where wrapped Bitcoin is obviously the top wrapper. It's like a lot of times people will develop a product, but they try to, develop their own wrapper. And I think that using wrapped Bitcoin is like a really good move on your part. And as I was also saying on the spaces last week, just that, there needs to be a lot more Bitcoin in DeFi, and Sonic especially really needs Bitcoin liquidity. So anything that makes it where it's easier to access Bitcoin for DeFi, especially on Sonic, I think is just like it's a great project.
Yeah, thanks a lot. For like when we think about traditional like when we think about getting into DeFi itself, it's already quite complicated because there's gas for different chains, like even with like Ethereum, which is like the standard gas token for most of these EVM chains. When we want to, let's say, do something, if I have my asset on one chain and I want to move it to another one, there's like a lot of complication when it comes to like bridging the gas and making sure you're prepared for all of these other actions that you want to do. And then once you get your asset onto that ecosystem, you still have to do a lot of learning, a lot of understanding into getting more complex DeFi strategies. But because like simply putting your assets into like an LP pool is not gonna probably not going to be the most efficient way to earn reward. So one thing that we have been seeing in DeFi right now, in terms of the trend, how people use DeFi, is more and more protocols and teams has started to building like vault or curated DeFi product. This way, it's more similar to, I guess, how Web2 people interact with traditional finance, where instead of curating every strategy by yourself and constantly checking your portfolio, you can just put your put your assets into a vault or curated positions. And so Bob Gateway actually also have the capacity to support on that front. in the sense that if, let's say, you're a builder, you're a DeFi builder on Sonic, and you have been building a more curated strategies to abstract away the DeFi complexity and making multiple calls, making multiple DeFi actions all in one, where it's either a vault or like a leveraged position, then Bot gateways support that in the way that when user express an intent, like meaning what I want to do, you can not only say, I want this asset, WBTC on Sonic chain, but you can also potentially say, I want to swap my native BTC directly into a complex DeFi position. I want to get into a position on that vault specifically. So when you're a developer and you think about integrating Bob Gateway into your protocol, because we designed this toolkit to be very programmable, very modular. So it's possible to build product where users say, one click and swap their native BTC into a DeFi position there. So that's another angle that I would really like to emphasize for any builders that might be working in the Sonic ecosystem.
Love it. Yeah, I mean that sums it all up pretty well. I know you said you had a hard out here at 1 o'clock, and it looks like we're right around there. I didn't know if there was anything else you would like to add. And I appreciate your patience with us. We're always starting a little late, so sorry about that.
That's all right. That's fashionable. Very fashionable. I guess, yeah. Thank you very much for being flexible with the timing. I guess on the last point, which I mentioned about the earn potential related to Gateway, on this same website, there is a earn tab on the top. So that's where you can see some examples of earn strategies that has been built on the Bob chain. However, for me personally, I'm starting to look more and more into Sonic, and I want to find out, what are the best yield opportunities for Bitcoin. So if anyone here who's listening to this space is having some good ideas or having some, recommendations where I should look, please feel free to drop in the comment, and we would love to interact with you and get deeper into the Sonic ecosystem. And thank you so much, guys, for having me on.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to bring you guys back on here as things develop. And yeah, thanks again for joining us. Looking forward to seeing what else you guys do here soon.
Thank you.
Well, take care.
Thanks, Nikki.
All right. That was informative.
Yeah, we don't often get to talk about Bitcoin too much on the show, do we?
Not enough, not enough. But what I appreciate is she just came ready, man. She was just like, boom, here it is.
Oh yeah, we got the pitch, dude.
Yeah,
we got pitched, bro. Are you guys buying? Are you guys building on Bob? Building on Bitcoin? That's what I want to know.
I would love to see some Bitcoin DeFi stuff on on Sonic. I think as liquidity gets deeper, it gives people incentive to do more things with it, set up more stuff. Fallout Zone says we need wrap Bitcoin and other assets to be easier to onboard when FT launches the lending and borrowing stage.
Well, I'm thinking maybe we get Savvy Girl on stream. Maybe we can pitch her on this idea. She's a full stack dev. So what do you think? What do you think, Drac?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to take advantage of the tools we've got at hand. Okay.
I mean, we gotta use everything we can right now more than ever on Sonic.
Dude.
So,
on Sonic, we're freaking prying up the floorboards here to burn for warmth. That's how bad things are going here.
It's a good idea.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, we're still in the dog bone village, I hate to say.
Yeah. Guys, get comfortable in dog bone village, all right? Embrace it,
I was born and raised in the dog bone village. You put me back in the dog bone village and I'll come out with no clothes on, covered in bones with all the dogs behind me. You know what I'm saying? So,
hell yeah, dude. That's what it's gonna take, dude. So I'm glad someone at least has the energy right.
Or we will just find a way. We'll find a way to mobilize the GMSONIC Telegram, because at this point, that is a force that is you do not want to mess with.
Look, in the interest of being a strong leader, I can't say this, but I'll say it anyway. They kind of scare me a little bit, dude. They're kind of getting me a little nervous there. If you're not in the GMSONIC Telegram channel, you're missing out on, I won't say alpha, but it's something.
I thought we were playing good cop, bad cop. I thought you were going to be like the steel fist dictator in there. You can't show
dude.
If you show them you have an ounce of fear, it's over.
I leave that to Benny the Butcher, dude.
Benny the Butcher.
I leave that to Benny. He's willing to cut them all up, dude. But no, we're really cooking stuff in that Telegram each day, dude. I'm getting lots of good ideas, for things that we can maybe build. How spaced out do you think each round of the FT pre-sale will be?
We'll get to that in a second, I think.
Yeah.
Elap says the GMSONIC Telegram is a dumpster fire.
This is rich coming from the guy who's always throwing Molotovs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, ye who I don't know. I can't formulate that thought right now.
ye who elapse.
Ye who throws the Molotov should not complain of the fire at their feet.
Exactly, dude. Getting biblical on his ass.
Yeah.
All right. But now, look, that's our pitch for the GMSONIC Telegram. Everyone's loving it. The Sonic Crying Telegram. But look, it's a safe place to vent your emotions, and then for me to steal your ideas and make money off of them in 6 months when we launch. So get in there, guys. Keep the ideas flowing.
Yeah, I guess that's probably a decent segue into the Flying Tulip post that came out yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of hot takes, a lot of people. Well, this is like the meme. It says like, "You guys are making money."
Yeah.
Oh man.
Not yet.
Yeah. So a lot of mystery around this post yesterday. So basically what we were seeing here is like, okay, it's the Flying Tulip roadmap, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it says essentially that this is a 3-year roadmap. Now, I think personally, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know the answers to like any of this. So before somebody says like, come on, like, is it really going to take this long? I don't know. But what I do know is that I think some of these things are going to be faster than 3 years. Okay.
I fucking pray. I pray, dude. Look, I'm gonna say some shit right now. Look, Andre might get pissed at me. He probably didn't fucking watch this. You won't even know. If one of you tell him I said this, whatever.
Well, yeah, you gotta ask her. You gotta ask all 1,700 people watching right now to not rat.
Look, they're gonna rat and whatever. But here, look, it's crazy as fuck to me the idea that that the token itself would take 2 to 3 months. Is kind of crazy. I mean, maybe it makes sense because they have but the capital allocation infrastructure is supposed to take another 2-3 months. That to me is like the actual work and like building out the token. Also, I thought this shit started in like January. Shouldn't like half this stuff be done already then if we're working off this schedule?
I'm not sure, but here's what I also know is, there is such a thing as a good old Andre psyop. And,
yeah,
I would not be surprised if a lot of this stuff's ready at launch. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it right now. Like, okay, let's see. Right out the gate, you got one, like the first column here. So if you said 2-3 months between every single whatever, theoretically, I think that would mean at least FTUSD was out really fast and leverage spot and the AMM. So I don't know. DeFi Maxa says, why hasn't Andre ever been on this show? Yeah, we're always open for that. We are ready for that whenever he is.
Yeah, look, I'm in his DMs. Don't worry, guys. I'm trying to grind him down, but he's probably super busy. He's probably doing bigger shows than this. He's probably doing fucking MSNPC, dude. He's probably on, what's that guy's name? Piers Morgan. He's on Piers Morgan and shit. I don't know. Andre's link.
Chippy says, should we create a poly market bet? Honestly, why have we not done this yet?
Yeah, man.
Why have we
I was
not
doing
done this?
I was doing it on Spin Dash. We need our own poly market analog on the network. We talked to a couple. Index Fund. Maybe we should go there. Spin Dash. Yeah, he's not going to slum it up with us, guys.
No, he's not coming to Dogbone Village, I don't think.
No, he wouldn't be caught dead here, dude. What was it? I thought I saw another question here.
I know. I hate how it sometimes loads the. I've explained it before on the show that we have like a different feed, and it just puts things from every single. We stream on 3 things live, and it puts everything into one thing for us. But sometimes stuff goes all in and out of order, and
Look, clip this, guys. I want Andre on this show. I want to talk to this guy. I've been wanting to talk to this guy since I got in this industry, okay? But he's a real tough dude to talk to because he has this persona of like he's like this fucking sorcerer in this tower. And if you say something he doesn't like, he's going to zap you and you're never going to get to see him again or whatever. Like, he just blocked me on Twitter. No, dude, no. I mean,
you got zapped.
What I'm getting, it doesn't really matter if he blocks me because we don't have any interaction anyway. But maybe I got to step my content game up, guys. So that's going to be my strategy for the next week. Expect me to write some very in-depth, thoughtful essays, and hopefully that'll get Master Crony's attention.
Stinky says he owes him money, and that's why he won't show his face around here. And I believe that.
I do believe that. If I owed Stinky money, you know how he's affiliated. He's in Mexico, dude.
Yeah, he's got the cartel blessing. He's over there at the Hong Kong club, right over the border, running things. You don't want to cross him.
Sinaloa Stinky is what they call him.
Yeah.
I can't tell if Crypto Shroom is being sarcastic or not. That
No, he's my favorite. He's my biggest fan. He has me blocked, and he like reply guys all my stuff, and then I can't respond to him because he's got me blocked. So
that's awesome.
You can unblock me whenever you want, big boy. I'll start talking to you.
Yeah, so this is the thing, Yankee. All right, so this is the crux of the look. I'm gonna do Sonic Labs a service here. Communication issues, pain points. I'm gonna identify them and solve them directly here for you right on stream. Yankee Ruin, he points out, yeah, he's so busy building, but apparently he isn't, because if they're at step 1 of the roadmap, what the fuck has he been doing all this time? Now, this is where we would say this is one takeaway that the community might have from the release of this roadmap and the text accompanying it, right? Is I thought this shit was done already. But the simple solution is we don't actually know what he has been building so far. And to like what Dracula was saying, it's almost kind of fucking frustrating because it's almost like less information is being given by giving me this information. Because like, does this mean this was their roadmap working up to this point? Probably not, right? Probably not. But some work must have been done on some of this stuff by now, right? Like they've got the structures outlined. They have documentation prepared. So, really hoping that this is going to, like when we says 2 to 3 months between each development, what he means is like it's going to start like soon, next week. I don't know. Like the full 3 to 4 year rollout doesn't really matter to me to get to this end game stuff, but like it really seems like it should have been well within the realm of possibility that a lending market could be completed. But I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, it's kind of a mystery. I think we just have to wait for more. There was like another post about, let's see here. There was just a post, like I think like right before the show started. Yeah. Talking about the Impossible Fi sale, how they are not going to take their 1% that they usually charge. So I would like to think that means we're getting really close here to things kicking off.
Well, let's pray that when he kicks it off, he's like, here's the token and the infrastructure for the token and at least the lending market or something. I'm not expecting him to hammer out a clob in 3 months, but I don't know. Am I crazy, dude? Am I crazy for this? Like,
I think it's a rollout, and I think that all this stuff's got to be like in a position where it's pretty much done. I think it's going to be like a very controlled rollout. I think it's going to be, they've already said that stuff will be on Sonic first. So I think that basically you're going to see like it probably launches with, several of the primitives, and then they roll something out, the famous test and prod, maybe, they're going to roll it out. They're going to have it in a controlled situation. They're going to run volume through it. They're going to test everything out. And as these things get rolled out, they, push it to the other chains on whatever the schedule is for that. That's kind of what I imagine in my mind.
Yeah. That makes a lot more sense. It's about a stage secure release and managing expectations. If capital can leave, you have to set expectations and bake discipline into the system. Thank you, Dr. DeFi. That makes sense. That it's going to be kind of like, and this is what I always, working on crypto projects, something I always wanted was like for us to have all the products ready to go. And then we roll them out in phases. This seems like I haven't worked in like a typical software development company. I worked in fintech, but more on like the data side, right? Not the product release side. But it seems like that's a much more typical way of doing it, right? You build out the products, you test them, then you slowly release them, and then you iterate. That makes a lot more sense on this approach, right? And also makes me a little bit more bullish.
I mean, that's kind of what I imagine, just because with this many things like rolled into one product, knowing what I do know about back-end development, it's, or smart contracts or whatever, is to have this many things in one system, you have a lot of factors, you have a lot of points that can fail. So that's kind of, like I said, what I have in my mind is like, okay, you have some stuff out, everything's working together, everything's running properly. You put out the next piece of the system, you make sure all that's working together, and you move from there. So, I mean, I think the tiered rollout is always kind of what I expected when I knew there was going to be like 5 or 6 different things built into this one product. I think it's just that it was just that one sentence that kind of threw everybody for a loop, which was, the 3-year roadmap. So,
yeah,
but we don't have, like I said, we don't have like proper clarity on the timeline really yet. So,
well, I pray, like, again, this guy says it, we can't just pray. All I can do is wait and see. And maybe Andre comes on, he can talk a little bit more about it, what he's at liberty to discuss. Guys, let's all look. Anyone who isn't blocked by Andre, just go tag GMSONIC in his mentions, dude. I'm sure that'll get him to come over. Let's see here. There was one I wanted. This is like a common thing here, a refrain here. Can we get some updates regarding Sonic Wave and initiatives? Any plans to revive on-chain without flying Tulip? I know it's pushing a tough spot, Drac, but I got to do it.
It's not a tough spot, really. Part of this winding down Kaido, winding down the airdrop season 2, like this is all geared towards, clawing back some of these tokens that were going to be used for incentives and applying them to programs that make more sense. Obviously, I've kind of explained this before that, a lot of this stuff was like basically planned at the finish line, and then we switched leadership. So Mitch has had, a big job ahead of him in terms of like when he came on, he's had to learn a bunch. He's had to talk to so many people. So, we're reaching that stage now where, he's got everything he needs for the most part. And now we're moving into like implementation. So I do not, I don't have a specific timeline, but that's where it's at right now is, I mean, these things are put together, they're ready to go. It's just a matter of, okay, like what's the next, you're about to see like the Mitch phase truly begin. It hasn't actually begun yet. You know what I mean? Because it's taken, he's spent 3 or 4 weeks just getting all the information he can, learning every single thing about the chain up and down. So from what I know with, the meetings and everything else is we're about to be stepping into like implementation phase here. So you'll be seeing a lot more about this stuff soon.
Yeah. I like the sound of that. I like the sound of that implementation. It's about time, but I totally understand. You got to do the fact-finding mission, right?
But on the same token, like I'm not going to sit here and say that there's like no urgency, because there needs to be urgency, right? I mean, the action needs to be taken. And yeah, I mean, everything that I have leads me to believe that's like what we're about to do. Everything's about to begin being implemented. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's lost on anyone that the situation is pretty dire. And it's, I equated it to like, you're trying to turn around like a giant cruise ship or a giant tanker or whatever. So that's like what's in the process of happening.
Yeah, it is, dude. And look, no one likes the slow crawl of corporate life, but sometimes it's necessary. The bureaucracy, it's important. Any guardrails for inside trading on Sonic? No, they actively encourage it. That's what it was revealed to me. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. I don't really understand what that means. Any guardrails for insider trading? Like, would that mean like we have like what do you call that? Like auditors, independent auditors?
This says Titanic reference. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
maybe.
God.
Hey, I didn't say the
Dr. G,
Titanic.
you had humor, dude. What the fuck? I thought you were a nerd, bro. You got jokes.
I said a cruise ship. Yeah, but not the Titanic. All right.
This other one here, this is another thing that's going along on the timeline a lot. You see Sonic Strategy put that Sonic Labs has a $600 million treasury in their corporate presentation.
Yeah, another
Nice.
GMSONIC TG banger. I saw that, and I don't know. And maybe someone here can explain it that's seen it and looked at it. I have no access to that info. I don't know anything about it, but I would be curious if that is truly like what the slide is saying. Yankee probably knows. Like I said, I kind of glanced at it. I didn't have time to look at it. So, I mean, if that's what it's saying, then yeah, let's break off about 300 mil of that and just start buying,
Yeah. Yeah. Drop it on me right now.
Dub says, when is Mitch coming? That was actually, I think we were scheduled. He was going to come on sometime last week, and scheduling
I talked to him.
Up.
We talked to him a little bit about it. He was busy. He was busy doing all his little audits all over the whole ecosystem. So, which is probably for the best anyway. Like, we want to have him on where he can say some shit that like is happening, as opposed to like the same thing he said like a week ago, like give him time to cook a little bit more before between the summit and now.
Yeah. And I think
the month is good.
Idea. Yeah. I mean, it's like, we're coming up on 4 weeks here. There's going to be a lot of information released here in the next couple of weeks. And
if you want the CEO to give you some good meat to chew on, you got to let him cook, That's all I'll say. It's also on the Sonic Strategy website. Let's bring all the team together for an AMA here. I feel like that would turn into a struggle session real quick, Dr. DeFi. Last time we tried to air out grievances, it was
a special day in history.
Yeah. How long are we cooking on S? We're probably gonna be cooking for another 3 to 4 years based on the roadmap. We'll see. I'm eager to see what happens here in November, because it seems like that's when we're gonna see some real movement as a result of the new leadership. Hey, Stinky, that better be Birria, dude.
Birria. He didn't take kindly to you outing his cartel connection
with a matching consomme.
Oh, Benny! Wow, yeah.
Oh my God, dude!
I don't think you can share that one.
Yeah, we can't say that. We can't share cannibalism on air. But we were talking a little bit about FOMC beforehand and the potential effects. We got a guy here, Dear Spence. I'm loving this. Dear Spence is giving me the 4 I need. Remember 4, CZ4, FUD, all that stuff. All the FUD is noise. Fundamentals are unchanged. Others BTC chart at the end of its wedge. Quantitative tightening coming to an end.
Yeah,
it's a huge confluence of factors.
Yeah, I mean, they're speculating that This will end QT tomorrow as well, which is probably just as bullish, if not more bullish, than a 25 BPS cut. Because obviously QT is when they let things like slide off the treasury in terms of like, okay, we just earned yield on this bond or whatever, and we're not like replacing the bond, so to speak. We're just collecting, we're in collecting money mode. We're not spending money. So QT ending would effectively mean that they are about to turn aggressive. They're about to, start spending money.
Mm-hmm. They're about to start expanding the, what do they call it? The Fed's balance sheet. Yeah.
Because like QT means like they're letting things expire. They're collecting their yield, but they're not like actively putting more money in for the most part.
Yeah,
so,
I think what was I gonna say? Fuck, dude. I cut you off and I was gonna say something and I completely spaced out. I'm never smoking marijuana again, dude. No, even if it is medicinal. No, I was gonna say, oh yeah, this is gonna be quite bullish, obviously, right? It means the Fed is opening up the purse books to the banks a little bit more cash hitting the system. The question is whether or not like inflation and like there's a lot of that has changed, right? So there's a lot that has changed, including like from tariffs to like rising what do they call them, CPI.
Inflation hasn't like super cooled off. We're actually above their target still on inflation.
Unemployment is still rising despite like companies posting better returns. So it's like things are a little bit different here right now. But I honestly still think it's gonna be super bullish for us in risk assets because that's where this money tends to go once credit opens up more.
Yeah, and that's exactly the point we've made on here many times is, do I think that going into QE right now and doing all these other things, is it good for the dollar? Probably not in the long run. What we're approaching here, that's probably going to have to happen to stimulate things. But it'll be a great time for assets. So,
Dr. DeFi has gone complete degen, dude. Fuck the Fed. We have 600 million stables and 490 million market cap, trading below NAV, right up to $10. He's asking for stimulus, dude. I have this whole theory about how labs and foundations are almost like little governments or whatever, and their blockchains are little countries. We want to do some quantitative easing on Sonic is what we're asking for.
Here we see, and Yankees pointing out that there's a USDC scam happening right now. I think I kind of saw something about that. It's I think on Euler, there's somebody opening vaults or something that are somehow malicious. I don't know the whole story on that yet, but
oh, here we go. I got it pulled up.
Yeah.
It's a long article, but a bad actor is creating triple-digit APR incentives on Sonic for depositing USD into a Euler vault, and drains all deposits. Because Euler permissionless, the attacker is able to deploy a fake market using SCUSD as collateral and USDC as debt. The market has a $1 deposit cap for SCUSD, fully taken by the bad actor. The SCUSD Oracle is set to 1 million per token, allowing the attacker to borrow 700,000 USDC against a single SCUSD. The attacker controls the Oracle and can raise the price further to extract more funds. This is crazy, dude. Next, he created an unverified fake campaign on Merkle to attract deposits. Any USD deposited to this market is borrowed, swapped into ETH, and transferred to Railgun. Okay, so
how is the attacker having access to like all of this stuff?
Well, it's saying here that Euler's permissionless.
Okay,
but I don't really get I guess the Merkle was also permissionless. They both Merkle and Euler flagged the campaign and market as unverified.
All right.
Merkle should likely make depositing into an unverified campaign much more annoying with pop-up warnings just to prevent this from happening in the future. Yeah, so like, look, this is how it appears on the site or whatever. So it's like kind of sketchy because you see it's flagged unverified and unknown, but that's probably why he's only gotten $145,000. But that is quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, not a terrible haul, but yeah, it's not exactly. It sounds like people have flagged it at this point, but
I don't think this would have shown up as now Crypto Shroom. I know he's a fudder, but he brings up a good point. Is that why everyone's showing plus USDC stats on Twitter? Like, is it just no? I don't think that this would have had that effect because he's not really inflating the supply of USDC. He's inflating the value through like the Oracle manipulation. The thing that's curious is like, how is he manipulating the Oracle directly? Like, how does he have such much control over the Oracle?
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean is like, how is it like, is there something wrong with the Oracle or like, how is
like
that happening?
There's no way they just let you
set your own prices or something.
Set your own Oracle. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, interesting hack here. Or interesting exploit. It's not really a hack. It's not even really an exploit. It's kind of just a scheme or a scam. So guys, be careful out there. Always verify your contracts. Always, you know what? I'll say this. The numbers look too good and you're getting nervous. Cool it. Just wait. It'll be fine. No reason. Yankee points out, yeah, we got to bring Yankee on as a researcher, bro. No, the increase in USDC seems to be exchanges using Sonic USDC for transfers from what I've seen so far. Okay, that makes sense. Again, we're the global settlement layer, bro. Everyone wants to use Sonic for the settlement because it's so much faster and cheaper. Oh yeah, and season 2 of the airdrop campaign ends
November 1st, and yeah, there'll be details coming out here in terms of like how many tokens are being put out and all that good stuff. So yep, that is coming along with the program winding down. Yankee says someone trying to scam people on Sonic is the lowest of the low. We're already down bad. We don't need that too.
Bro, we're already in Dogbone Village at each other's throats. And this guy's coming in and he's taking our bones, man. That's so messed up. But yeah, things are looking good, dude. Oh, I wanted to mention, maybe I'll just write maybe this will be my article though. But have you saw that the US dollar Argentinian peso swap that happened? It was in the news.
Yeah, no, I don't know like the exact numbers, but I just kind of like saw that floating around the timeline a lot. So I guess like the currency pumped.
Yeah, I was gonna say this. Like, Trump is running this country like a degen like founder, pretty much, but it's like working really well because like the thing about so like I was pretty down on it because Argentina has like a notoriously like I'll say it's good. Argentina has a notoriously like volatile economy, booms and busts like constantly. There's like no stability. The currency is totally unstable most of the time, but they've got like a very educated and developed infrastructure, educated population, developed infrastructure. So it's really attractive to investors, right? Because it's like, you guys set shit up right, you can make a lot of money. But what's super funny to me, right, is that with this currency swap, it's almost like we treasury swapped at the bottom. We traded them like a flat amount of dollars for like an equivalent amount of pesos at that current valuation. And then the peso jumps like 7% in a day. It's like nicely done. Trump,
yeah,
dude.
that's
nicely
crazy. I mean, I'm guessing that's related to, I don't know, the election or whatever. So
yeah, it has something to do with, I mean, it's kind of interesting because part of it is due to the fact that this deal is public. And if it goes through, it's going to increase confidence. And then the election also increasing confidence. But I don't know. It was just interesting to me because I was thinking about it. I got my degree in political science. So I'm used to a lot of like the comparative economy and politics type stuff. But I spent so much time in crypto now. It's like I'm thinking of these things more in crypto context. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Will Trump dump it? That's what I was thinking, Stinky. It's like he's got a chokehold on the meme coin chart now, dude. He could just dump that shit at any moment.
Yeah, it's like when you're looking at the distro of a token and you're like, this guy has like 7% of the supply. If he sells, we're screwed.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah, that's exactly it. Dr. DeFi's got a quote. Oh, yep.
Yeah, we clicked it at the same time. I'm in the prediction markets for the most part. What you got?
Yeah.
What you got, Doctor?
Yeah, hit us with it, Doc. Are you going to launch your own prediction market? Lots of people want to launch another prediction market here on Sonic. I haven't seen the new Savvy Girl tweet. I should go check it out. Hopefully she didn't do something to ruin my reputation.
Oh man. Yeah, that's been talked about a good bit. It's like I know there's over the existence of Sonic, there's been like 2 or 3 kind of talks about, somebody launching a prediction market or whatever. It would be nice to have one. So
Yeah, look, I was thinking about it. We really don't have we have Spin Dash, but I don't think it really was working that well.
I think what we're going to do is we're going to just start live gambling on the show, and we'll just make up a market and everyone can just gamble on it live.
Yeah. I do want to do that. I do want to do live gambling. I've got an idea in the works for a gambling game we can all play on stream. That'd be fun. Is there strategy to prediction markets? Isn't it just you just bet on what you think is going to happen? Do you think Obama's going to wear a tie or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, there is. I mean, people are playing a lot of prediction market stuff, almost like going as far as kind of like how you would treat certain financial strategies. There's a lot of people like, oh, I'm putting this much money on this market, so I'm going to say yes on this one, but no on that one, making almost like delta neutral kind of stuff.
I see.
So yeah, I mean, there's definitely strategy to it. Like never something I really would have thought of, until Polymarket got the size that it is. I mean, there's people out there that are like exclusively just doing things on Polymarket, and they are people are like basically looking at it like, okay, if I'm taking a certain kind of bet, I'm going to choose like 4 or 5 of these different markets that are all kind of like leaning towards something. It's almost like a parlay or something. So it's getting interesting, just that there is actually a good bit of strategy being deployed.
Interesting. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think I saw that Polymarket had like another big partnership come through. I should get into. Well, I'm not allowed to use Polymarket. Oh, it was the NHL. That was the last big one I saw. They're kind of dominating right now.
Yeah, but you're seeing a lot of this other stuff pop up. Coinbase announced a while ago that they have one in development. I don't know if that's still a thing now that Polymarket's said that they're going to be able to operate in the U.S. legally. But Coinbase had one just yesterday. I can't remember where I saw the post, but just yesterday there was another CZ project. So you know how those go. Another CZ project in the works where he, was involved, where it's, basically a prediction market, I guess, on BSC. And then furthermore, you're starting to see like you're starting to see like even just like individual companies start to like be like, oh, we're spinning up a prediction market. I mean, it's getting crazy.
It'd be interesting to see how these kind of play out. I could kind of see, tell me if this sounds crazy here. All right. We have like individual companies spinning up prediction markets for domains in which they have particular expertise or whatever. Like the NHL has a prediction market that they have built in partnership with Polymarket or whatever, right? So it's like the veracity component, the truth of the market resolution is now being collected directly from like the source. Would make sense.
Yeah.
Another one will be like, again, I keep going back to this one. Look, we got to fly out to LA. Anyone who can get me a meeting with head of Paramount, let me know, because I've got this idea where I think I honestly do really think that they should put prediction markets for their movies. It'd be a good way to hedge loss. I don't know. We'll see. I predict there'll be many more prediction markets. I agree.
Yeah.
I say that because prediction markets are the one thing crypto has spawned more than anything is like financial tools that let you skirt existing financial laws. And that's the most beautiful thing. And that's what's the prediction markets are to me.
Yeah. Well, we're on an hour here. Probably a good spot to wind it down. But yeah, we'll be back Friday. Obviously there'll be a lot to talk about tomorrow. Let's hope for several good announcements at the FOMC. And yeah, hopefully we'll also get some more clarity on this flying tulip timeline and some other things.
Yeah. And any builders you guys want to get us to have on the show, let us know, reach out. We're always looking to chat with new people inside or outside the ecosystem. Obviously, we are biased towards inside, but let's try to seduce some people, dude. Let's try to get them over here. It's PM, dude.
Yeah, we've had a little run. We've had 3 or 4 episodes with guests. Let's keep them coming.
Dude, it's essentially free to build on this network here. We should at least be the testing grounds, okay? Let's get some people in here.
Yeah, come bring your McDonald's to Dogbone Village and you'll thrive.
Dude, you're on board. I like it. Yeah, bring your McDonald's to Dogbone Village.
So,
Invite
all
CZ.
right.
I'd love to get
Well, yeah, we'll get CZ. That'll be no problem.
Yeah.
So, we will catch you guys on Friday.
Adios.
GMSONIC is Corval and Dracula Presley. GM.